was about 5'4". Hair reached to the floor, full of beauty. Groove 19.
It's real.
Okay, Brother Johnny, Groove 19 Promotions, Manning, South Carolina. Thanking everybody for tuning in to this installment of Microphone Check. Today, as promised, we would be coming back to you with another installment. If you would like to listen to us live, you can listen to us live on our Twitter station, that is Groove 19. If you want to listen to us live on our personal website, you can go to the 19 Report and slide over to our live podcast, and you'll be able to see us live. That's me and my son. Today I have with me Mr. Zion Malik. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Zion Malik Johnny Wilson, and assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. For those who don't know, speak into the mic a little closer. To those who don't know, means peace. So we are saying peace to you today, coming live to you out of Manning, South Carolina. Today I wanted to pick up on a subject that I was talking to a gentleman about before we get into the music. Again, this is a listening session, so I will be playing some of my favorite songs on my computer. They're not for sale. I won't be saying artist name. I won't be saying the name of the song. I'm just playing the songs as a filler as we talk about some very important topics. I was reading an article today where it was talking about how the #1 songs in every genre of music, in every area of music, from hip hop to gospel to anything that has vocals in it, country music, every single song is the language in the songs are on a 8th grade level, and it goes no higher. So no matter what genre of music you're listening to, the genre of music never goes beyond the mentality of an 8th grade level. And the question was asked, are we dumbing down people with the music that we're making? So I'm going to pose that question to my son. Do you think, although you're 8 years old, do you think the music is being dumbed down?
Well, I really do, because some of the songs don't make any sense. And I think it will get into the subconscious mind and probably dumb people down.
Now, when we say dumbed down, do you understand what I mean when I say dumbed down?
Well, from hearing it from me, I'd say that it would probably mean making them mentally sleep.
Right, making them mentally sleep. So we are in Manning, South Carolina. I always like to specify the fact that we are in Manning, South Carolina, and this is the only news, talk, and commentary and music station coming to you live out of Manning, South Carolina. We are usually, by God's permission, the first to do a thing here at Groove 19 Promotions, just the same as with green screening. But we are usually, unfortunately, the one that never gets the publicity, the one that never gets the recognition. And that's okay, because that's just the way it has to be. But the reason I want people to know that we're coming live to them out of Manning, South Carolina, is because since 1989 and earlier, we've been trying to do music here in South Carolina. And it is 2015. I am now a music promoter. I am a concert promoter. I am a person promoter, a personal person promoter. If you have an idea, anything that you would like to promote. Unfortunately, I have not seen the process of promotions of music change at all. What I mean is that people are thinking that they have a new idea, Zion. They think they have a new idea. And because it's in their head and they think it's brand new, they bring it to me. And when I tell them that it's not new, you need to go beyond that idea, they get upset, angry with me, and want to go do it on their own. My concern, out of love for their desire for music and fame and financial gain, is that they're going to waste a lot of time doing the same thing that has not worked. Now, you're 8 years old and you have your own mind. What do you think about, why do you think people are at a point where they, even though you show them a blueprint to do better, they desire to keep doing the same thing over and over again? Why do you think that is?
Well, just like you said, they have a mind of their own. They wanna do it the hard way. They wanna swim through the river of sharks instead of going across the bridge.
But is that benefiting us, because we have generation after generation of people constantly doing the same thing and convincing themselves that they're moving forward when in actuality they haven't moved at all? And the older generation, such as myself, is so frustrated with their ignorance to the matter. We try to school them to the reality of where they are and what needs to be done, but they're not listening. So let's say 10 years from now, where do you think music will be 10 years from now?
I think it'll be, I think it would be a bit more crazy and all out. I think a lot more people will start making music because of today's technology.
Yeah, more people are making music, and that is another thing, as I said earlier, that the number one songs that you can think of, from Beyonce, Drunk in Love, to Jay-Z, or Change Clothes, or whatever the songs are, the language that they're using is on an 8th grade level. There's no more complication in trying to figure out what the music is talking about. Now, a lot of people, especially in South Carolina, are going into the electronic sound where they're using auto-tunes and they sound like a transformer. They're not even saying anything. Remember, we were at the rodeo on the Saturday? Was it Saturday? We were at the Black
Saturday.
Rodeo.
Saturday.
And that song they were playing that didn't make any sense at all, but it had a good beat to it, and everyone was dancing to it. And I said, I'm going to make me a song called Butt Naked and just have a nice beat to it. You were kind of zoned out, but do you remember the song at all?
No, because there were a few songs like that.
There was a few. They had some, what is that dance that they were supposed to be doing? It wasn't a Dougie. It was some dance that they were doing there. But it all is the same thing. They give it a different name, and we think we're moving forward, but really we're in the same position. I want to let us think about that for a minute as I introduce you to a couple of my favorite tunes while we're vibing out. Again, the songs won't be mentioned. The author won't be mentioned. We're just listening. So this is the listening session. This is Brother Johnny, Groove 19 Promotions, Manning, South Carolina, and you are listening to Microphone Check.
Hey, yo, man, can we see the mics, man?
Yo, take it from the top. 1, 2. My mic sound nice. Check 1. My mic sound nice. Check 2. My mic sound nice. Check 3. Are you ready?
The water starts coming up on the lawn. Then it began to come near the porch, and then it starts coming in the home. And we realized that the water was coming so fast that this water is this is what they predicted.
Where was FEMA? What do they gain from Katrina? And why it takes so long to save us but so fast to clean up? Who's in charge of them green bucks? Cause they supposed to give survivors at least 2 G's plus. I need much. And
you take 2 tall
people that are
miles,
leaving,
and
like,
they
if
bring
they
you
get you on a
somewhere
plane.
and you can't come out the gate.
Yeah.
You're a prisoner, a secure facility.
Yeah.
You hear what they're saying? I understand what that means. I know what that means.
was it because they live below standards and drugs ran rapid? That is quiet up in the cabinet. Who was on call? Did they really drop the ball? Did they say up? We're reminded about them damn walls. Can we call them levees? Did the water get heavy and overrun the town, or did people come knock them down? Are they trying to help them out or trying to kick them out? When you see them come around to evacuate a house, who has insurance in one of the country's most poorest communities? Isn't this country for you and me? Separating families, destroying unity, conquer through the vibe. Are they gonna help us survive, or is it genocide? Do they want to help and no revive, or will it be gentrified? Watch the choppers in the skies, no supplies, devils in the skies, spinning stories on my people's lives, standing by while they just letting us die.
It was so terrible. I couldn't believe these people see us and actually passing us up like we wasn't even there. And a lot of times I thought we was just gonna die.
I feel
like the whole world gone crazy. The stadium smells like infant dead babies and old people going through rigor mortis while the government taught us slow to support us. Instead they record us and give us self-righteous orders. Reporters implore us not to break the law. I saw him talking on TV. I want to break a jaw. A teleprompter can never describe what I saw. The phones are dead, no
A guy who was walking next to in the water, his kids was like behind him. He was getting so frustrated when he just shot his whole family and shot himself in front of my face because they couldn't take it no more.
No police and no EMT. Powerless like we got hit with an EMP. It reminds me of the days when we lived as slaves. They just denied the migrant workers federal aid. And people tell me poverty doesn't have any color. Well, it does down here, motherfucker. And now they talk about rebuilding when nothing is working. Nothing. Just lawyers getting more contracts for Halliburton.
When it came to rescuing folk, when the old lady realized she had to go in the water, she was scared, the old lady. Mama, I got you. Let me help you up here. We took care of our people.
We restored the fresh water on some Mardi Gras. Yeah, swerving down bird on some party time. Yeah, stinking, soaking liquor. I'm speaking real candy. Who knew and know what some president land knew? Got us looking sad, ignore report. Get the rips out the tell and ignore the war. Scored the people perched on top rule. 96 hours with no damn war. Who the host wouldn't shoot?
They handcuffed me and busted all my arm up with the handcuff. You know, treated me and talked to me like shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you let us go and tell us, we're going to shoot you, we see you back in the hood. What kind of shit is that to tell me the shit out of me?
So what I says the cat, brother stranded wife for seat on the side, egg on the lap. Now anarchy ruled the street, mayor cuss the government out. On the TV, all you hear is bleeps. Despair drove some insane, Superdome synonymous with pain. Ironically, that team's called the Saints. I know firsthand I got blood, you heard from me. Second line bitch should be playing for eternity. Vivid imagination, prepare for the devastation of these poor people being displaced in our own nation. No food or water with 4 days waiting. Fearless leader flying over to assess the situation. What they doing to my folks blatant. Satan they causes, breaking their clauses, lying to our faces. Take a step back, let's retrace this. Cats were breaking in the stores cause they were running out of patience. Most of them gunshots you heard about, yeah, they were pointed in the air cause the bullets were flares. But regardless if the media cares or not, we should still share a lot of truth. Keep stirring the pot into a spicy gumbo. Dig deep, let your funds go. Never know a storm might hit, Flatbush or Ludlow. Who do you think they'll save, them or us? Mother Nature doesn't choose sides, cash flow does. Right.
We weren't expecting this. This storm was, we weren't prepared for it at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we just got to move on now because, it's just like a new start for us.
Well, God bless y'all.
He has blessed us already. Blessed us.
Brother Johnny Groove 19 Promotions, Manning, South Carolina. Again, thanking everyone for tuning in to this installment of the listening session on Microphone Check. Today's topic will be business-minded, politically correct, unification of the music-minded people here in South Carolina and the music industry, and how not to be savage and crooked in our business practices so that we can see some residual income from what we do. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
My cousin fools by Jews to prove they pay. Doing dirt for clean kicks, whip the whips like a master. Watch the place pass like a pastor. Peas like we used to do. And working in the field, but niggas using tools. Ain't a game such a shame, it's so insane. And love the pain and love the fame and getting lynched, but niggas hang. Ain't nothing changed since the days on the cotton field. Ain't nothing changed since the days on the cotton field. Put on your chain, you're still a slave, though you gotta deal. They gotta deal with the people trying to plot and kill. Ain't nothing changed since the days on the cotton field. It's just the black man's curse that we carry since the black man's birth. 3/5 is still a black man's work. They say the black man's gold is still the white man's dirt. But all the green he makes a product of the black man's work. Ain't a damn thing changed, it's still a slave trade. NFL, NBA, just ain't the same name. All these record label execs manufacturing songs. Ask Jimmy Iovine how many slaves he owns. Cause music's the new cotton. Niggas is out picking it. Minute you ain't got a hit, see how many give a shit. Your worth is just equivalent to their financial benefit. Forgetting alligator farmers and Tuskegee syphilis. Killed in the field, tossed the body in the river. Cop shot Oscar Grant, cause to them you just a nigga, ain't a game. Such a shame, so insane, know the pain. Say the souls of those of us who son of slaves, ain't nothing changed since the days on the cotton field. Nah, ain't nothing changed since the days on the cotton field. Put on your chain, you still a slave, though you got a deal. Got a deal with people trying to fight a deal. Ain't nothing changed since the days on the cotton field.
You can't walk the walk of free men. In a modern time like this, you walk like a slave. This is why you're crippled, because you think you cannot walk without your former slave masters. And if your former slave master don't help you, you don't think there's any help for you, even though you taught God. You live in fear of your former slave masters and their children. Your problem is you are not now, nor have you ever been a citizen of the United States of America. You are a slave to white America.
Okay, Brother Johnny, Groove 19 Promotions, Manning, South Carolina. Sincerely thanking everyone for tuning in to this installment of Microphone Check. Again, I'm on the air with my sidekick. I'm so happy to have him on the show today. We were talking while we were off the air, and I was telling him about the politics of music and the music industry here in Manning, South Carolina, and how, in my personal opinion, the people have no belief in themselves. So if it is someone from South Carolina that's telling you how we could do business, how we should do business, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, we don't need Keith for that. We can do it for ourselves. But if someone comes from any city, I don't care where they're from, they may not have your best, they don't have your best interests at heart. They don't have your best interests in mind. They are thinking of a way to use you, use your talent to benefit them. You immediately jump on the bandwagon. I have not seen that changed in 20 years. So my question to my son is, what do you think we should do different in terms of trying to get respect, to build a no-fly zone in Manning, South Carolina in particular, where no one comes in without our permission, no one comes in without putting one of our artists on the ticket, and no one leaves out without making sure that our artists get money for compensated for their services? What do you think should be the first step for us in that regard?
Well, I think there'd be several things that should be done for the first step in that stage. I would say that you'd probably have to, the first thing you'd probably have to do would be able to get all of South Carolina to be able to join together in a community and be able to create their own place that they can live in. So I'd say that they would have to be able to join together as a community, work together as a community, and they would have to be able to trade things, and then have to be able to agree in things. And
but do you think that's possible? Now, I have to always kind of get on you about thinking about things that are possible and not impossible, because with us, I spoke with a gentleman one day. He came to my house one day. He wanted promotions. He was ready to do a video. I told him we could work out something, because even though we're always playing like we're big ballers here, most of us don't have any money, and if we do, we don't spend it on the right thing. So the first day he came, Zion, he talked reasonable. The song was decent. It wasn't the best song, but the message was good for South Carolina. The second day he came, he wanted to have ideas put on the table of how the video should be. First thing I was telling him is that you want to target one market, in my opinion, in South Carolina, and that is to get the older people on your side, because the older people will spend money, whereas the younger people want to download or they want to copy your music. The older people will spend money for your music, and they will support you because they're glad to see, especially young black boys and young black girls, do something positive. Now, just because you rap don't mean you're doing something positive, because you could be rapping some filthy mess that ain't nowhere near positive. I mean, in South Carolina, they making whole albums with 10 songs and all of them about weed. The whole album about smoking weed. And that's something to think about. But my point is that the third day he came and said with one song, he know he can win a Grammy. And that really broke my heart, because that let me know right there that he was in the clouds. He was so far off from reality that for me to try to bring him back down to Manning, South Carolina was too difficult, and it probably would end up in a fight. And since I'm getting older, I don't like to fight, so I'll probably get beat up, and I don't want to get beat up, not unless it's necessary. My point being, we're always discussing this big business in South Carolina. I hear a lot of people on air talking about get your publishing straight and make sure you got this right and that right. But we don't have what you were talking about earlier, which is the unification. So what do you think, honestly, realistically, we could do first from an 8-year-old perspective? What could we do first in order to try and do proper business as a collective in Manning, South Carolina?
Well, the first thing, like you said,
I just want like one thing, and make it clear, because I know you can make it clear.
The first thing you said, it would be able to get out of space, out of the clouds, to be able to think realistically.
Okay. You want to elaborate on that, or that's all you want to say about it?
Well, really, that's only half of it.
Well, say the rest.
Well, to get out of the clouds, it would be a very long journey. A lot of getting bit by the sharks, of course, because you didn't want to go across the bridge. But my thing is, it would take a while, and once you get up in the clouds, it's hard to get back down out of the clouds and come back down to Manning, South Carolina, to be able to work, as I said, as a unity.
Okay. So what we want to do, what you're saying is that first we have to think realistically about what we're doing.
Right.
Then we have to map out a plan for what we're going to do and stick to the plan.
Right.
We have to take, and this is what I'm gathering from what you're saying, we have to take like little steps, and this is what I'm saying too. We have to take little steps, and along the way, we are writing the blueprint for success in music and business in Manning, South Carolina.
Exactly.
But for every single group that I have seen in the last 20 years, honestly, I am about the only one, by God's permission, that ever got a lucrative record offer from a well-respected and known record company. That is Profile Records. Before they became Profile Def Jam, they had Run DMC, the Beastie Boys, and several other groups that was with Rick Rubin. And that was in 1989. And it was positive music then. So my music is irrelevant now. But I want to also point out that the music we're listening to on the listening session is all positive music. You may hear a little profanity in it, but it's all from a positive perspective. And the reason I chose to play this, Zion, is because 2 nights ago, I had a dream where I was running from the house, from this house, and I was running to Manning. And on my way to Manning, I saw the people who were the quote unquote elite people, the people who got money, black people, were running from Manning, like they were running from something. As I got into Manning, I saw all these different gang members. And I stopped to talk to one of them, but I was terrified of him. And it was someone that I knew. I was terrified of him because I knew that his mindset was different from mine. He didn't mind killing. didn't mind robbing, didn't mind taking from other people what didn't belong to them, because the youth now feel that everything belongs to them, because they are angry with the older people for just teaching them how to get a job, go to school. Now they got to pay back a bunch of loans. They're just angry with this way of life. And I was terrified when I saw the guy. And I talked to him, but I was trying to talk to him long enough to get away from him. And what I got out of that is that the cities are falling apart. Chicago, Detroit. The gang members are running the city into the ground. They're not going to stop doing what they're doing. Once the cities are dilapidated, what do you think the people who are left are going to do?
I don't know. I really don't know. And I also had a dream myself.
Let's stay on this subject for 1 minute, but hold your dream, though. What they're going to do, they're going to begin to migrate to other cities and towns. And with their mentality, kill or be killed, for them to come to South Carolina and recruit these young, dissatisfied boys and girls and make them a part of their society, it could wreak havoc on South Carolina in a bad way. Now, I'm not running down on the gang members, because the politicians, the preachers, and the business people are just as bad. They're just as bad, because we're all in it for what we can get from it, as opposed to the bottom line, which is to see that the next generation does better than this generation. So my concern is, based on what I saw, the areas in which we can help, we have to try and clean up. So I've been trying for the last 10, 15 years to clean up the minds, by God's permission, of the people by giving them insight on what's going on inside of us. And I feel like it's coming directly from God, so I share it. But I feel like you all, you, Zion, and the people in your age group are the fearless ones, and you all are the change that we are waiting for. But I feel like Satan, in the form of all of the negative that is in the world, is after you all. In the television, in the music, in the sexuality, in the church, because they're feeding racism in the church. Everything is white. So you think that the only way you're going to make it in this world is it's got to be white. So I want black people to build something unified by God's permission, not to go against white people, but to prove to ourselves we have to begin to see it, that we are able to do it. So when we come back, I want you to tell us about the dream that is it relevant to what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so when we come back, we're going to enjoy a few more songs in my bag of CDs, and then we'll be right back with Zion Malik's dream that he had, and he's going to share it with us and relate it to what we're talking about now. Is that correct?
This is correct.
Okay. We'll be right back.
This is my groove. Don't fuck with my groove.
Was a thespian. George H.W. Bush is still relevant. How many so-called liberals and progressives sound racist when they talk about the first black president? Tupac Shakur still alive. Eazy-E tested negative for AIDS when he died. Mac Dre was never given the full credit deserved for keeping the Bay alive till the day that he died. Gavin Newsom broke away with his wife to go and play with a guy. The same people who claim Iran is Al-Qaeda sold guns to him for money to fund the crack rock epidemic back in late 85. They lied. 4 to 6 U.S. congressmen also are in British House of Parliament. The government will not win the war on terror in our country because they started it. Come quick, I'll see a dead man walking, raised from the grave so the fears can't chalk him. He only responds to hard truth and guerrilla vocadelic intellect, so it's best you stay off him. Come quick, I'll see a dead man walking, raised from the grave so the fears can't chalk him. Born rested in peace in American streets, the deceased resurrected to teach rebellious speech to each.
Abraham Lincoln didn't free us. Our belief in Jesus was beat into us. Plus, he's kin to us. Besides music and sports, America doesn't remember us. February, they pretend to us. But by the end of the month, I'm back into the cup. California prison industrial system is structured to make people not know and think prison is fun. Make a change for the better and they laugh at us. Make a turn for the worse, they attract to us. Unless it's based around making more money for rich white men, the government ain't really got nothing planned for us. Democrats is getting smoother, telling me Kennedy was a saint, but he killed Patrice Lumumba. The Department of Homeland Security was started in the 60s by a woman named Hoover. Come quick, I'll see a dead man walking, raised from the grave so the fears can't chalk him. He only responds to hard truth and gorilla funkadelic intellect, so it's best you stay off him. Come quick, I'll see a dead man walking, raised from the grave so the fears can't chalk him. Born rested in peace in American streets, the deceased resurrected to teach rebellious speech to each. Bottom line, 9/11 was a trick to my homies on the corner that's already been hit. Young black law graduate, mastered it, passed it, pulled over for running the light and got his mask split. Police harassment is happening fast again amongst black men. Legitimate straps and unjust action could have a pig moon walking backspin like a Jackson. The reason why we go dumb is the question where dope from. I see a vision of slavery on Mars, no bars, just stars overlooking dead blacks at the end of the rope's arm. Meanwhile, back home on planet Earth, the Almighty is planning to return to shatter her for practicing God's plan in reverse. As forewarned in every book, chapter and verse, the last words, last is quick. I'll see a dead man walking, raised from the grave so the fears can't chalk him. He only responds to hard truth and gorilla funkadelic intellect, so it's best you stay off him. Come quick, I'll see a dead man walking, raised from the grave so the fears can't chalk him. Born rested in peace in American streets, the deceased resurrected to teach rebellious speech to each.
If you grew up around people that got a kick out of hurting people or got a kick out of robbing people, and that's all around you 24/7 all day. That means eventually you're gonna start catching a feel for it.
I love niggas because niggas are me, and I should only love that for just me. I love that you niggas go through changes, love that you niggas act, love that you niggas make them plays and shoot the shit. But there's one thing about niggas I do not love. Niggas are scared of revolution.
There's a war going on at home, it's like Baghdad. In American cities where all the blacks at. Little kids that pack straps and backpacks, who clap cats for scratch snacks and gas masks. Hard time, niggas all on the grind, all of the time. Faith in our lives small as a dime. Cup of noodles for breakfast, a cup of noodles for lunch, and a cup of noodles for dinner. Every day is the winter, every day is December. Cause even in the middle of summer, the streets shiver from the poverty blizzard. Rocket propelled grenades, landmines, and letter bombs. Open up your envelopes to thoughts of them shutting off your water and your lights and your food and your rights. All you got in your life is little dude and your wife. So you move in the white with your crew in the night, but you're nervous. The block drafted you into the circus. The curse. Hey, nigga, you just afraid, nigga. You ain't afraid, nigga. You just afraid, nigga. You ain't afraid, nigga. You just afraid, nigga. You ain't afraid, nigga. You just afraid, nigga. Waking up is the beginning of a day that's fucked. Spoons and forks and napkins and plates and cups. Everything but a meal. I bang with my steel and feel hunger pains and me.
This is Brother Johnny of Groove 19 Promotions out of Manning, South Carolina. Thanking everyone for tuning in to the listening session. This installment of Microphone Check coming to you live. Please stay tuned as we will be listening to my 8-year-old son tell of his dream of what's occurring in Manning, South Carolina. And we'll close out after that with a few songs in my bag of D's. Brother Johnny, Groove 19 Promotions, thanking everyone for tuning in.
The ambush, double jeopardy. Brothers repping me and telling me they loving and respecting me can be the death of me. You ain't afraid, nigga. You just afraid, nigga. God in heaven, could you tell me why you never chose me? You ain't afraid, nigga. You just afraid, nigga. Times I asked you provide or we wasn't gon' eat. You ain't afraid, nigga. You just afraid, nigga. Why was everything that you supposed to do on me? You ain't afraid, nigga. You just afraid. Since I'm not in heaven, it's only one other place I could be.
hard when you're up and ranked this far. I hit bars and I mix and mingle with stars. You flip cars, but over time you get scarred. And with your broad, you begin to whisper discharge. Traumatized by the lies of the turncoats who walk enemy ground to go and burn smoke. 5 dead, single shot Glock 9 to the head, and you like, fuck them niggas had to learn though. But things deepen, your enemies peeping. The rate you're gaining weight got your energies creeping. They see you're not sleeping, so they got reason to send a soldier in your circle and manipulate the truth.
Microphone check, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Microphone check, microphone check. Drop the mic when I'm finished. Microphone check, microphone check, microphone check. Drop the mic when I'm finished and watch it smoke.
Hey. Next in line. Next in line. Next in line. Miracle. If you believe a miracle, Lord. Miracle. Next in line, Lord. Miracle.
This is Elijah Bradford and the Valentinos, and this is how we grew with Brother Johnny on Mic
Hey,
Check.
yo, man, can we see the mics, man? Mics.
Yo, heard, take it from the top. 1, 2. My mic sound nice. Check 1. My mic sound nice. Check 2. My mic sound nice. Check 3. Are you ready?
You already know who it is, Brother Johnny. Groove 19 Promotions. This is Microphone Check, news, commentary, and music. Coming directly out of Manning, South Carolina, and I'm with my host, my co-host. Introduce yourself.
My name is Zion Malik Johnny Wilson from Manning, South Carolina.
Zion Malik Johnny Wilson from Manning, South. Click, clack. Thank everybody for tuning in. Now we're going to go into a dream that Zion had, and he had it probably about, what, a month ago?
Probably, maybe a month ago.
Probably a month ago, because he mentioned it to me, but he wanted to talk a little bit about it because it is actually, it's just agreeing with the dream that I had the other night. So we're going to go right into that. Go ahead. You have the mic.
Well, it started as I was in my house, and I was looking around, and I said, why don't I go to Manning and see how everything's doing? And note, just the day before this, Manning was crowded, because I think it was straight bass, and it was crowded. The Ferris wheel and everything was there. All the roads were blocked off. The helicopter rides were everywhere. And then it was Sunday, so the striped bass was still going on. And then when I arrived at Manning, the Ferris wheel was there, the roads were blocked off, everything that I said before, except the population was gone. Nobody was there. No people at all. And then I saw kind of these, like, they look like Iraq tanks, kind of Iraq cars, and people were coming out of them and starting to settle into the city. And I'm like, these aren't our people. These aren't the people who are originally here.
So what do you think if you had to get a message out of the dream, what do you think it was telling you?
It was telling me that I think that the world in general is dying.
The world in general is dying. This is true. The thing is that we are dying, but what people are looking for is a physical death. They aren't being taught about the spiritual death as it is mentioned in the Bible, nor are they being taught about the mental death. Now, once a person destroys your mind, they can destroy your soul. And a lot of what is going on in this country now, which is our country too, because we work for it, a lot of what's going on in this country now is that parts of this country are being sold to the highest bidder. You can look it up on the internet. All of the toll booths, all of the token machines, the parking meters, a lot of the federal buildings are already sold to foreign countries. So we're being gradually destroyed like your dream. We're gradually breaking apart. That is on the big scheme. While the world is thinking that money is the answer to everything, money has its place, but it's not the answer to everything. I want a lot of money, and I want you to want a lot of money, because if by God's permission we stay on track, then we know what to do with the money. But if the world continues the way it is, the money has no value. The dollar, the American dollar. This is fact. This is not me talking. It has no more worth than the paper that is printed on. In fact, it is called fiat money, F-I-A-T. Fiat money. It's not real money, but it's the best currency on the market now. So it holds weight. And plus, America has the best military power in the world.
That's true.
So,
and
go ahead.
The rest of my dream was also the rest of the United States. All the cities, the population was gone. It's like one of those commercials you see where a camera is around the earth and all the lights just go out in the United States. That's what it was like. The population just started disappearing. So my thing is, as I said, we are mentally dying up here. And as you said, the currency in the United States is turning into fiat money. It's fake. And the American dollar is turning into what some people may know as what script is.
What is script?
Script is the money that was used in like the mills.
Right.
Mills.
In the mill towns. And where were those mill towns?
Those mill towns were in South Carolina.
Right here in South Carolina.
They were mostly in the suburb areas.
Right. Right. And it was a money that they used that was valid, but then it had no value after a while.
Right. Like script, I've heard that they stopped using script there. I've heard that, like I read that script only has value in the mill towns.
Right.
You can't go to a Walmart and say, I want to buy this tennis racket, I want to buy this tennis set. Here's 25 script.
Right.
I can't take 25 script.
Right. And history has proven that every single form of currency has a point where it peaks, it lives, and then it dies. So every form of currency dies with the exception of gold, silver, and things like that. And even the value of gold is going down. But my point is, in terms of music and the music industry and millions and millions of people trying to make it in the music industry, from gospel to R&B to jazz to rap, for us here in South Carolina to think that because we have a song, we're going to all of a sudden be so successful that we can win Grammys and things of that nature. And say that again?
And win like Billboard.
Right, and win like Billboard. What happens with us is that we live this vicariously, which means we live someone else's life, and we watch their life so long that we begin to dream that we can do what they're doing. So when we see the Jay-Z's, the Kanye's, and people like that, we think we can do that. So we're never in our own mind when we do things. And I think that and I always have to bring it back to God, because if there is no God, we might as well just do whatever we want to do. But if we don't focus on the reality of now, God can't help us.
That's true.
So what I am talking about when it comes to music, we have put on shows at least twice here in South Carolina. Neither one of them were unsuccessful. Both of them were very successful. We had very talented people in the shows. But our intentions were to build a network of people so that once we finish, the next person who decides to do a show, we would have all of our information in a data bank where we can share that information, agree on how we're going to move forward with the show, so that everyone can get paid even before the show starts. But what happened was, because of the greed and the selfishness of some, they break off with their little piece and they run it into the ground. It's no different than photography. You know that I'm a photographer, but there will be no success in photography with the exception of a few, because we won't work together, so we run it into the ground. When it comes to music in South Carolina, it's the same thing. We run it into the ground. And before long, the only people that are successful are the places that we do our events, because they selling liquor, wine, letting you smoke marijuana. They're making a killing, but the artists don't make anything. And so this is before you start worrying about publishing and all of that stuff, there is no such thing as an original beat. A German musicologist did a study on music, rap beats. And he found that the majority of rap beats are based around 5 different bass drops, bass rhythms. So basically, they're all the same thing. That's why when you hear one song, you say, man, that sounds like the other song. With the exception of them putting a sample in or another little sound, it's all the same. So our concern now with music and the dumbing down of the children, especially your age, you all have to be able to listen to a complete conversation without music behind it. Stay focused through the conversation, ask questions about the conversation, and take out of the conversation what can benefit you as a whole. That will not happen as long as the television is dumbing down, the music is dumbing down, the churches are dumbing down, the schools are dumbing down. We are in trouble. So the way I present things, or we present things here at the NiNeTeEN Report and Microphone Check, is that we need to uplift our thinking and come on. If you listen to 90% of the shows that are on the radio, on Blog Talk Radio, they're all talking about the same thing. They're not talking about unification in terms of starting what would you call it? A network.
A system.
A system. Setting up a system.
A cycle.
Yes, a cycle where you get to the top, you get your share, we cycle it back around, the next person gets some, we cycle it back around. And not only that, but the barter system, sharing information, sharing materials until we can grow. This is the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he says that for the next 30 to 35 years, I think that the American government should supply us with the things that we need to go for ourselves. We have to have the opportunity to do something for ourselves. But in South Carolina, if one person gets a little success, someone's going to come in, whisper in their ear, and before long, they want to break apart, and we don't have anything in return. We don't have anything except for a bunch of people talking like we're talking, but not enough people doing. So I want your final words on that, and then we're going to play a few more songs and we're going to close out. This is Brother Johnny of Groove 19 Promotions out of Manning, South Carolina. You're listening to Microphone Check. Introduce yourself again, sir.
My name is Zion Malik Johnny Wilson from Manning, South Carolina.
Okay, so I want to hear your final thoughts on what we talked about today. Then we're gonna finish out with a few songs.
Well, let me just bring these subjects up real quick. How you say the currency is rising and then dropping again? The thing is, through all the wars of history, like the Civil War, World War I, World War II, I've been looking up on the internet, and I've been finding that the Germans' current currency has been going uphill, then it's been staying level, and then it's going down the hill, up the hill again, down the hill. And it's a cycle. Mm-hmm. And then also, cotton prices. When they were in higher demand, the farmers got more money. Mm-hmm. When they were in lower demand, then they got less money.
Mm-hmm. And why were they in lower demand?
Lower demand was because, like, not many people wanted to use cotton. Like in World War I, World War II, Civil War, they needed uniforms. Mm-hmm. So they got money for selling cotton to make uniforms. Mm-hmm. And some of them might even sew the uniforms themselves. So that's more money. Mm-hmm. So they get money for selling the cotton and making the uniforms. Mm-hmm.
So when there's too much of a thing, the value of it goes down. That's money. When there's too much of a thing in any particular place, the value of it goes down unless you have what you call a union or you have unification where you see to it that there's always a balance. Now, in Manning, South Carolina, we don't have a balance. So our money and our success will go just like you're talking about with cotton, the German money. It'll go up and then it'll go down. But in the end, it'll all be down. We will destroy the music market. We will destroy the photography market, the graphic market, because we're not unified. Everything that any photographer can do now, most people can do on a phone.
Right.
The only problem with that is that they don't know how to print it out to where it's not pixelated. That's the only thing that saves a photographer today, because they can do overlays and everything right there on their phones. So if we don't unify with music, with every genre of music, and with every creative skill that we have, we will always be at the bottom. And so I want you to close out with a few words, and then we're gonna play a few more of my song out of my playlist, and then we're gonna close out.
Well, first
And you have like a minute.
Well, the first thing I want to say is that in the cotton thing, like, it was kind of like what I call a roller coaster. When the price went up, the demand went down because nobody wanted to pay as much. And then when the price went down, the demand went up. When the price went up, the demand went down, and it's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then this message that I read about from a man that was in poverty, and he said that there was 50 cent, there was 20 cent cotton, and 50 cent meat. And then he said that how in the world can a poor man eat?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when the price was high, nobody wanted cotton. They wanted meat. They wanted food.
Right.
So also, I just want to close out saying one more time that I am Zion Malik Johnny Wilson from Manning, South Carolina, and I'm out.
Okay, and this is Brother Johnny out of Manning, South Carolina, and we're going to go into a few more songs, and then we're going to close out. Now, this is a poem that I put together some time ago, and I put a little music to it. Again, this is Alicia Keys. If you're with me, I'm ready. Because I wanted people to start listening to the lyrics and thinking about the lyrics and asking questions. We don't ask enough questions. We act as if though we are intelligent. And so we walk into life ignorant because we're too afraid to ask questions. Ask questions. Brother Johnny, Groove 19 Promotions. Zion Malik, Groove 19 Promotions, Manning, South Carolina. That's the future. I would love to see them no more than shaking their tail, smoking marijuana, drinking liquor, and acting a damn fool. I would rather them know how to do business and collectively and actually make money on that business. White folks are doing it. Chinese people are doing it. Every race of people are doing it. Even the homosexuals and the lesbians are doing it. They're producing a system where they can make sure that their people are taken care of. We don't have a system. And so we'll always be raped and robbed and pillaged and treated like a fool because we are foolish people. Brother Johnny, Groove 19 Promotions, Manning, South Carolina.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth. Truth, 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 truth. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
I pull on minds like gravity. Inflate your lungs, invade your chest cavity. Venomous nature, words don't rattle me. Slither in the grass and reveal yourself gradually. We split atoms for enlightenment. Build cornerstones and future homes for thrones exciting.
Place our youth in the zone. Turn to the east, destination unknown like lightning. God traveled back to the west. Superman soul, 19 on the chest. Draped in God's armor, 19 on the vest. If nothing less, I know that I'm blessed. But not because of riches. God is repairing spiritual glitches. Exercising demons, warlocks, and witches. Genies of desire that can grant 3 wishes. Vampires and shapeshifters. God is the greatest. To haters, can you handle the truth? Open up your minds if we hand you the proof. Stop the lies that we're feeding to our youth. Poison in their minds, antichrist in the stew. Siphoning their souls and it's hard to regroup. Pay a price that's hard to recoup. Caught up in the rapture, slave to the loop. Defecated scripture, excrement stew. The devil is a liar, but he lies like true. Manipulates souls that he manifests through. Eve couldn't beat him, Christ didn't need him. The question is, who you gonna choose when you meet him? 19.
Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men. Who's gonna do it? You? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep and you curse. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about. You want me. You need me. You need me. You need me. You need me.
We not just ballers and rappers. Rappers are athletes that run faster. We not just ballers and rappers. Trappers are actors or brothers running NASA. We not just ballers and rappers. We the masters of anything that you hand us. We not just ballers and rappers. This is a new chapter, it's called the hereafter. No presidential pardon for the elements that charge us with being criminals because the television stars us. And cause you got fame don't mean you relevant to marchers. And since you're not a leader, then your negligence will harm us. And when we say a leader, then our reference is a martyr. Like nobody today can take a message from the father, impart it to our sons and give lessons to our daughters, except LeBron, Lil Wayne, and President Obama. Nah, we got a lot of activists and scholars organizing the hood for the good and not the dollars. Holla, every unsung hero I wanna honor, from the Berg to Bahamas, consider this good karma. I'ma give you light cause the fact they wanna bury us.
I'm not a hunter, but I'm told that in places like in the Arctic, where indigenous people sometimes might hunt a wolf, they'll take a double-edged blade and they'll put blood on the blade and they'll melt the ice and stick the handle in the ice so that only the blade is protruding, and that a wolf will smell the blood and wants to eat, and it'll come and lick the blade trying to eat. And what happens is when the wolf licks the blade, of course, he cuts his tongue and he bleeds and he thinks he's really having a good meal. He drinks and he licks and of course he's drinking his own blood and he kills himself. That's what the imperialists did to us with crack cocaine. You got these young brothers out there thinking that they're getting something that they're gonna make a living with. They're getting something they can buy a car like the white people have cars. Why can't I have a car? They get something so they can get a piece of gold. The white people have gold. Why can't I have gold? They're getting something to get a house. The white people have a house. Why can't I have a house? And they actually think that it's something that's bringing resources to them, but they're killing themselves just like the wolf who's licking the blade, and they're slowly dying without knowing. That's what's happening to the community. You with me on that? That's exactly and precisely what happens to the community. And instead of blaming the hunter who put the damn handle and the blade in the ice for the wolf, that what happens is the wolf gets blamed for trying to live. That's what happens in our community. You don't blame the person, the victim, you blame the oppressor. Imperialism, white power is the enemy. Was the enemy when it first came to Africa, snatched up the first African, brought us here against our will, is the enemy today. That's the thing that we have to understand.
Okay, Brother Johnny Groove 19 promotion to Manning, South Carolina. Sincerely thanking everyone for tuning into this installment. Again, if you like what you hear, you can help us by sharing these videos, these audio files. We have them posted up on our personal website, the 19 Report. We also have our video page, the 19 Report, on YouTube. This particular video, I think they may flag it because we're playing copywritten music. I'm fully aware that the music is copywritten. That's why I didn't say the name of the songs or the author of the songs. Again, I'm just listening to my songs like you listen to the radio, and that's what we were doing as we introduced some commentary to you about thoughts we have about community-based unification that is necessary for us to get respect for ourselves and for others. And we honestly need your help in sharing these videos. We also have on our personal webpage, on the front page of the 19 Report, where you can donate to the community of concerned citizens. Again, our vision for the community of concerned citizens is actually a very good vision, and we hope that to get help with that, I don't want to talk about it too much, because what I've found in South Carolina is that we have vultures who will steal your ideas and leave you out of the loop. But I will promise you this, by Almighty God Allah's permission, anything that he puts into my mind, you could never duplicate it. You may have the beginning of it, but you'll never have the end of it, because it's in my mind. So when you do something that is based on what we here at Groove 19 Promotions started, I believe, and I honestly pray, that if it does not benefit the people, that it will fail. And if you help us, I pray that we will succeed, because we desire to help all people. Again, Brother Johnny, Groove 19 Promotions, Manning, South Carolina, thanking everyone again for tuning into Microphone Check. My guest host, Zion Malik, is now getting him something to eat, but we thank you for tuning in, and we're out.
Hey, yo, man, can we see the mics, man? Mics.
Yo, take it from the top. 1, 2. My mic sound nice. Check 1. My mic sound nice.